Welcome to our Sunday celebration on the Celebrity Buzz channel. Today, April 28th, 2025, we pause to remember the amazing performers who have passed away. Their work has left an indelible impression on film, and we are thankful for the memories they have provided us via their outstanding performances. Our sympathies are with their families and fans as we reflect on their legacy. Before we begin today's tribute, please show your support by liking the video and subscribing to our channel. Thank you for being a part of this touching event. Let us begin. Alexis Herman's dedication to fairness was more than simply a question of policy. It was deeply personal. A close colleague once stated that she believed in raising others since someone had previously raised her. Alexis Herman was a remarkable trailblazer whose voice changed chances for millions across the country. She died quietly at the age of 77, but her legacy will last for decades. Alexis was born in Alabama amid a period of significant racial and national conflict, and she turned her upbringing's struggles into a lifelong goal. She revolutionized the American labor movement from the inside out, driven by a never-ending passion for service. Her tenure as the first African-American Secretary of Labor marked a watershed moment. Under her leadership, global child labor rules were improved, and career possibilities for women and minorities increased dramatically. Her initiatives enabled people to shift from assistance to employment with dignity and optimism. However, Alexis's influence spread well beyond the corridors of government. As CEO of New Ventures LLC and a board member for big corporations such as Coca-Cola and Toyota, she brought compassion and clarity to boardrooms where important choices are made. She had previously become the Women's Bureau's youngest director at the age of 29. Even before that, she worked directly with young people and single moms in the South, assisting them in establishing solid, independent lives. The grassroots link remained important to all she did. Alexis didn't seek the spotlight, but her knowledge, perspective, and remarkable ability to listen pulled it to her. She was a gentle mentor, inspiring others to follow in her footsteps. Her favorite quote was, "The measure of our progress is not where we stand, but how far we have come." Her death from natural causes is a huge loss for a country she helped build, from the corridors of power to the hands of daily people. A fellow actor remembers Gerard's calm, unwavering brilliance. Kennedy led without ego, but with a remarkable and genuine kindness. Gerard Kennedy, who died quietly at the age of 93, gave an amazing vibrancy to the film, capturing viewers in ways few others could. From his early days in the theater to becoming a beloved household figure across Australia, Kennedy established a legacy based on sincerity, humility, and an exceptional pool of talent. Audiences first saw his captivating presence when his character, Craig, in the series Hunter, went from villain to hero, a metamorphosis fueled not by authors, but by strong public demand, demonstrating the emotional connection he established with viewers. That calm intensity and obvious charm carried over into his renowned portrayal as Detective Frank Banner in Division 4, which garnered him 2 Gold Logie Awards and secured his position in Australian television history. Kennedy displayed an astonishing variety over a remarkable career that spanned more than 5 decades and included over 80 film and television roles. From the historical relevance of Against the Wind to the harsh reality of Underbelly, he played each character with a quiet but strong strength. His contributions to cinema included major films like Newsfront, The Light Horseman, and Wolf Creek 2, each of which was imbued with a deep reverence for the medium he so greatly loved. Despite his celebrity, Kennedy remained refreshingly modest. His accolades were hidden away, never to overshadow the job itself. He handled everyone on set, including co-stars and crew, with kindness, patience, and unshakable respect. Behind the scenes, he was recognized for encouraging others, making room for new talent, and developing the next generation of performers. Actress Liz Birch described him as gentle and kind, his demeanor instilling peace wherever he went. Eric Roose was an actor who seemed to bring a greater honesty to each part he played. As one of his co-stars once said, Roose did more than just play. He lived each scene with a sincerity that connected strongly with viewers. The beloved Estonian actor died at the age of 62 after a brief illness, leaving a deep legacy on stage and cinema. His presence, while often modest, left an indelible impression on generations of theatergoers and cinema fans alike. Roos was well known for his unforgettable performances in films like Tuleviku Minu Lenin and Johannes Persukese Toelin Ailu, where he had an exceptional ability to express depth and passion via even the most subtle movements. Whether in cinema, television, or theater, he constantly brought his characters to life with passionate conviction and uncompromising dedication to his profession. Roos, a Viljandi Culture Academy alumnus, began his successful career in theater, working with Rockvere and Endla for many years. After 2009, he began a new chapter as a freelance artist, remaining a major presence in the Estonian artists scene. Aside from his professional accomplishments, Erik Roos was recognized for his quiet strength, humility, and deep appreciation for the theatrical heritage. Colleagues vividly remember rehearsals that turned into times of profound discovery, praising his uncommon ability to educate, listen, and inspire without ever seeking the spotlight. Audiences also became acquainted with him through famous television shows such as N13, Kelgu Koarad, Eglus, and Kitamax Contour, where his performances were dependably grounded, honest, and truly human. Roos, a dedicated member of the Estonian Theatre Union and Actors Union, not only performed his craft but also contributed to its future development. As accolades flow down, one thought emerges time and again. Erik Roos was the calm heart of Estonian theater, and our tales are richer because of him. For decades, Leonard Zeskin served as a persistent sentinel against the emergence of white nationalism, warning with fervor about the movement's march from the margins to the mainstream. His work was never about self-promotion, but rather about the truth. Zeskin's strength, as articulated vividly by his colleague Devo Burkhardt, was based on calm dignity and moral clarity, attributes that distinguished his brave advocacy for human dignity. Leonard Zeskin died at the age of 75 after a brief illness, leaving an outstanding legacy spanning 4 decades. Leonard's life was a tribute to awareness, resistance, and action, and he was well renowned not just for his vast knowledge, but also for the inspiration he instilled in others. Leonard was born in Baltimore and took an atypical road to activism. He did not begin in lecture halls or boardrooms. Instead, he started as a welder and steel fitter in industrial factories, immersed in the reality of working-class life. But it was the civil rights movement that sparked his genuine dedication to human rights, propelling him into action in the 1980s, a path he would never leave. He established the Institute for Research and Education on Human Rights, an important organization committed to tracking hate organizations and upholding democratic ideals. Leonard Zeskin warned about the emerging menace of white nationalism long before it received widespread notice. His breakthrough book, Blood and Politics, provides a horrifying history and insightful analysis of America's far-right ascent, and it is still urgently relevant today. Despite gaining accolades such as the MacArthur Fellowship and invitations to speak throughout the world, Leonard maintained his modesty. During challenging times, he served as a mentor, teacher, and moral compass for his classmates. His death leaves a significant vacuum, but his words and legacy continue to inspire those seeking justice. Rachel Yaffe was a very remarkable TikTok creator who touched numerous hearts by sharing her 7-year cancer experience in an open, honest, and uplifting manner. Rachel was born and reared in Maryland, and her early love of athletics led her to flourish as a lacrosse player. However, her life took a drastic change in her late teens. What began as a persistent sensation of illness, which physicians originally mistook for gluten sensitivity, was eventually identified as fibrolamellar hepatocellular carcinoma, a rare and aggressive kind of liver cancer. Rachel decided to post her story on social media right away, not just to chronicle her journey, but also to educate, connect, and encourage others who may be suffering similar issues. She spoke openly about the ups and downs of treatments, surgeries, radiation, and the difficult emotional struggles that come with living with a chronic disease. Her unwavering optimism and ability to find joy in even the tiniest of events endeared her to her fans. Despite several setbacks, including emergency surgeries and relapses, Rachel remained committed to researching all available treatments, both orthodox and alternative. Even in her closing postings, she highlighted the significance of mental health and regaining strength. In 2023, she relocated to New York to be closer to her family, cherishing every time with them. Rachel's influence, however, extends beyond her heroism. She advocates for self-care and trusting your body. Her message urging others to trust their instincts and seek help when something doesn't seem right stays posted to her TikTok profile as a strong reminder. Rachel went unexpectedly at the age of 27, leaving behind her parents, siblings, and her dog, Layla. Her tale continues to remind us of the value of optimism, community, and advocating for our health. George Negus was a beloved Australian journalist who won hearts and minds for decades with his daring reporting and no-nonsense approach. George was born in Brisbane, Queensland, and did not start out as a journalist. In reality, he began his career as a teacher at Indooroopilly State High School before transitioning to journalism at the age of 28. His big break came with ABC's groundbreaking show, This Day Tonight, when his innate charm and keen interviewing technique instantly set him apart. George rose to prominence in the 1970s and 1980s because of his work on 60 Minutes. His daring, often angry interviews, including a famous confrontation with Margaret Thatcher, established him as an icon of hard-hitting journalism. However, George was not just interested in breaking news. He was enthusiastic about global concerns and human tales, which led him to become the original host of Foreign Correspondent and Dateline, shows noted for their in-depth reporting and George's friendly curiosity about the globe. But George's heart wasn't only in the newsroom. He was also an avid environmentalist, devoting much of his time to conservation efforts. His contributions were not unappreciated. He was appointed a member of the Order of Australia in 2015 and received the coveted Walkley Award in 2021 for his remarkable contribution to journalism. Throughout it all, George was a family guy, having a strong link with his partner, Kirsty, and their two boys, Serge and Ned. Despite his public appearance, George was a loving father who valued his family life. After a lengthy struggle with Alzheimer's, George died peacefully at the age of 82. His legacy lives on via his real storytelling, curiosity, and dedication to the truth. Tributes have poured in from all across the world, celebrating his extraordinary life. Liam Payne, a beloved character in current pop music, rose to international fame as a member of One Direction, one of the most popular and successful boy bands in history. Payne was born on August 29, 1993, in Wolverhampton, England, and showed an early interest in music and performing. His rise to popularity began with an audition for The X Factor in 2008, albeit his initial effort did not provide immediate success. However, in 2010, Payne returned to the competition, and this time he was paired with Harry Styles, Zayn Malik, Louis Tomlinson, and Niall Horan to create One Direction. The trio swiftly rose to prominence, selling over 70 million albums worldwide and stealing the hearts of millions with hits such as What Makes You Beautiful and Story of My Life. Their triumph encompassed 3 international tours, 5 chart-topping albums, and countless awards, establishing them as a cultural powerhouse in the music business. Following One Direction's break in 2015, Payne embarked on a solo career, releasing his first album LP1 in 2019, which featured notable tunes such as Strip That Down. Despite his professional achievements, Payne experienced personal difficulties, particularly with his mental health and sobriety. His candor regarding these struggles, especially his path to rehabilitation, made him more approachable to his admirers, who appreciated his sensitivity and courage. Outside of music, Payne was a passionate father to his son, who was born in 2017, and shared with singer Cheryl Cole. His dedication to his family and fans demonstrated that he was not simply a gifted musician, but also a kind and contemplative person. Tragically, Payne died at the age of 31, leaving a significant impact in both the music industry and the emotions of millions across the world. His influence on popular culture will probably linger for years to come. Robert Fulford was a renowned Canadian journalist, editor, and public intellectual whose impact on Canada's media environment lasted decades. Fulford was born in Ottawa on February 13, 1932, and reared in Toronto's Beaches district. His early life was affected by his connection with the legendary pianist Glenn Gould, which sparked a lifelong interest in culture. In 1952, he played an important part in publicizing Gould's first performance, which marked the start of Fulford's successful and varied career. Fulford's media career began at the age of 16, when he started working at Toronto radio station Chum. Despite his own disinterest in sports, he quickly joined the Globe and Mail, where he began as a sports writer before expanding his duties to include columnist, editor, and critic. His career grew as he wrote to some of Canada's most prestigious magazines, such as the Toronto Star, Maclean's, and Saturday Night Magazine. Fulford's tenure as editor of Saturday Night from 1968 to 1987 resulted in several national magazine prizes, cementing his reputation as a key figure in Canadian media. Fulford's insightful and incisive assessments of literature, art, and film have left an enduring effect on Canadian intellectual life. His writings continued to appear in the Globe and Mail and the National Post long into the 21st century. Aside from journalism, he was a popular broadcaster, hosting This Is Robert Fulford on CBC Radio and co-hosted Reality on TV Ontario. Fulford presented the famous Massey Lecture Series in 1999, which focused on the power of narrative and mass culture, and was later published as The Triumph of Narrative. His literary works, such as This Was Expo and Accidental City, revealed his great commitment to Canadian identity and culture. Fulford died at the age of 92, leaving an indelible mark as a champion of Canadian arts, culture, and intellectual conversation. Mitzi Gaynor, a recognized icon of stage, movie, and television, made an indelible mark on the entertainment business via her tremendous skill, fascinating personality, and contagious charisma. Born Francesca Marlena Dean Y. Gaynor's early upbringing was heavily affected by her parents, who were both cellists and dancers. At the age of 8, she began regular dancing instruction, which would establish the groundwork for her eventual success. Gaynor landed her first professional part at the age of 13, kicking off a thriving career that spanned the stage and, later, the big screen. Her breakthrough came in 1958 with the film adaptation of South Pacific, in which she gave unforgettable performances of songs like I'm Gonna Wash That Man Right Out of My Hair and Some Enchanted Evening. The film's critical and economic success cemented Gaynor's reputation as a musical theater great, and her performances became iconic. Her subsequent appearances in films such as There's No Business Like Show Business and Less Girls demonstrated her versatility as a singer and dancer. Gaynor received a Golden Globe nomination for her performance in South Pacific, cementing her standing among Hollywood's finest actresses. Aside from her film career, Gaynor charmed audiences as a Las Vegas headliner, recognized for her gorgeous performances and energetic routines. Working together with famed costume designer Bob Mackie, she became known for her stunning clothes and tireless enthusiasm. Her television specials in the 1960s and 1970s, such as Mitzi, an homage to the American housewife, and Mitzi, What's Hot, What's Not, became cultural icons, solidifying her reputation as a popular performer. Gaynor was married to her manager Jack Bean from 1954 until his death in 2006, and she continued to perform throughout her life, winning a Primetime Emmy in 2008 for her show, Mitzi Gaynor, Razzle Dazzle, The Show Years. Gaynor died at the age of 93, leaving a legacy of happy performances and unforgettable experiences to inspire future generations.